when you were growing up, what did you think of people who were like what was it a thing to be proud of if you were on food stamps, or was it sort of a thing you kept
Absolutely not. We never, and I'm not saying, some people actually need it. We never were on. Yeah. My mom and dad busted their asses to work and give us what we want.
So people didn't want to celebrate it, right? It was kind of, they wanted to get out of
No, what do you mean? People were embarrassed. People were embarrassed to be on freaking food stamps. Are you nuts?
Yeah, and like if info came out, like, they depict it in shows from like the 70s or whatever, like if it came out, they're like, oh, did you hear so-and-so's on food stamps? Like, ew. Yeah. But it's like a secretive thing. But this weird thing's happening now where it's like almost being celebrated, and like people are like throwing it in your face as like they're proud of it for some reason.
So is this the trend, Brandon, that's happening on TikTok?
Roll.
And these are Brandon. What are we seeing right now? We're seeing.
So we're seeing some TikTok videos of people on the day that they receive food stamps on the 1st of the month.
TikTok is crazy.
Okay, and they're like in supermarkets celebrating.
So like, as you can see, this first video, the caption says, "When it's food stamp day and you got 7 kids." Which you should never have 7 kids if you're on fucking food stamps, but go.
Bro.
Yeah, government. Yeah. Have kids. Yeah.
Look at that healthy food they're getting with those food stamps.
Leeching on and the 2 able-bodied people who could be working 2 jobs.
Like, you know how embarrassing this is, bro? Like,
it's disgusting.
As you stuff your cart with seed oil crap.
Yeah, look at
give you diabetes.
That really bothers me. Oh.
Dancing around.
And just to make it pretty clear for everybody watching, they're robbing you by doing this.
Yeah.
That is your money they're putting in their cart.
Exactly. They're proud of it.
Is that Odell Beckham? Gotta say. Oh my God. I've never had that much groceries in my life.
I'm glad that's what we paid for.
Yeah.
And they want to raise our taxes.
Right.
Dude, that's unbelievable. Dude, if I was an illegal immigrant, I'd be pissed off that these people are taking money.
Yeah. Filling all the states.
Look at that. Oh, crab legs?
Yeah.
I'm pissed off that they're taking money from me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So.
And like, they don't eat all that food either.
No. So like you should never have 7 kids if you're on food stamps, first of all, and so.
But Brandon, they incentivize it. The
They
government
do.
wants you doing that. Don't work, stay home. We'll send you money.
And
Rule
this is
number
what
one
we
of
mean
the-
by the wrong people are having kids.
Now,
Like,
I don't know
these
if we
people
wanna-
should have no kid. Like, if I was president and I saw this shit on TikTok, I would go to this person's house and say, "When's the last time you applied to a job? Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you collecting food stamps? How many hours do you work per
7
week?
kids.
You want to know
you
why
have
they
1
have
month
that
to
many
get
kids?
off this shit.
You want to know why they have that many kids?
Because they're
the
incentivized to.
more kids they have, the more money they get, which means
Dumbass LBJ.
they can go buy more stuff with their EBT food stamps.
And we say dumbass,
Exactly.
but that's what they wanted, right? They
Yeah.
wanted to separate the father and the mother, so they incentivized them not even to live with the father when they had kids, incentivized them to have more kids. I mean, you go back to the Communist Manifesto. You have to destroy the nuclear family, and then you have to make them dependent on the government, because the more they're dependent on the government, the more they're going to vote for them.
And go a level deeper, the CIA recipe: flood the black neighborhoods with drugs, and then change the laws to make it more strict against crack cocaine instead of cocaine. So, arresting the fathers, taking the fathers out of the home, so you have a bunch of fatherless black neighborhoods that are set decades behind because of the laws you put in place and the drugs you put in their neighborhoods.
Unbelievable.
And then, so our bill for welfare in 2023 was 1.3 trillion, even more than our military budget.
Can we see this chart?
Holy.
So 756 billion for Medicaid, which Medicaid's rampant with fraud. Medicaid's like the food stamps of healthcare.
Welfare.
Shout out to the guy that got us the building, though.
How much is that all together, Brandon?
1.3 trillion.
Trillions of oh my God, bro.
Wasted.
That is insane.
People leeching off the system.
And these are the people that want to raise our taxes when we're in debt as a nation, trillions of dollars. They want to take more of our money because they know how to distribute it, as a prime example, to welfare.
Yeah.
I mean, there is nothing that's more frustrating. Well, maybe there's a few things than wanting to take more of our money. Now talking about unrealized capital gains, the money that we don't even have in our pockets. For one, capitalized taxes should not even be, we shouldn't even have a gains tax. Period. Because we already paid taxes on those assets that we're now reaping the benefits of. The government wants more of our money. Why? To get them paid, to have people dependent on the government versus them figuring out. I think all of us here have a better opportunity to know where to put our money that would have more of an outcome, whether it's our churches, whether it's our kids, whether it's our investments, our businesses, than to give it to people who are trillions of dollars in debt and give it to people that are now celebrating being on welfare as they load up their shopping carts with cancerous foods to then go on a medical system that we're then going to have to pay for as well, because it's all intertwined with everything, and it's so frustrating.
And you know how you describe that mentality, that lifestyle, these people? Parasites.
Yeah.
These are parasitic organisms that have latched onto our healthy American society and are killing themselves and killing us in the process. And there's no other way to... They are outbreeding us because we have incentivized them to have more kids. Whereas a couple that is completely free of government benefits and is just trying to live can barely afford to have a single child.
Harder to get by.
You guys ever see the movie Idiocracy?
Yeah,
of course.
It's exactly.
So it starts off with it's like a funny movie, but it starts off all serious. So so the dumb people start outbreeding the smart people, and starts off with like these hillbillies are like yeah, woohoo, like shit, I'm pregnant again, and and then this like super stuffy practical couple like well, we could have kids right now, but the economy just isn't good. It would just be irresponsible right now with what the economy is doing. Maybe in 5 years from now, and then it cuts back to the hillbillies. It's like, oh shit, I'm pregnant again, and like their kids are like having. So it's a cycle of them having 7 kids per family for the hillbillies, and then the stuffy people having like 1 kid, or they're like infertile a lot of the time. So it's a compounding effect where stupider people are producing faster than smart people. So if the government actually wanted us to be smart, they would put things in place where married people who have their shit together, they get a tax benefit or some sort of financial incentive.
Incentivize what it is that you want to see more of. Patrick always says to our business owners, whoever controls the comp controls the behavior.
Right.
Whoever controls the government subsidies controls the behavior, right? But at the end of the day, what do we do about this? Do you rip the Band-Aid off? How do you just take it away?
100%.
Like what do we do about this?
If I was in office, I would say, all right, we have 1 year until this shit expires. So, like, for example, before 1965, when the Civil Rights Bill went into place, 4% of the households were single-parent households. Today, it's 40%.
40?
Yeah, 4% to 40%.
And what was the time frame in that?
1965 till today. So what's that? 35 plus 24, like 50 or 60 years.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well, you're incentivizing and you're making these people depend on the government, and guess who they're going to vote for?
They're
going to vote for the leftists, for the Democrats.
People that want more government.
That are saying, guys, stay home. You don't got to work. We'll just keep sending you checks. Keep pumping out these kids and don't do nothing for society. They're literally leeches on society.
They are, and this is over 20% of our budget. Our federal budget's $5 trillion a year. So 1.3 trillion of that goes to welfare bullshit, and then another trillion of it goes to military spending and wars that we don't even need to be in. Yeah. So that's almost half of our budget go towards nothing when our roads are falling apart, our schools aren't protected.
Our people in the schools aren't even educated. They can't even read. They can't even write. But who cares?
Who's in the schools? Who is in the classroom that is causing so many of the problems, dragging down the education system? Kids raised by these parents.
Yep.
They go home, they eat nothing but sugar and carbs because that's what's in the cart for them.
Adding to the obesity.
And then they go back to school and behave like psychos. The teachers can't reprimand them. Yep. And then everything just gets worse. But what's really funny, I described them as parasites.
Yep.
Do you know how parasites tend to work, where when they latch onto an organism, they feed off of it? What happens if you introduce another kind of parasite to that
parasite
that
on
system?
The parasite?
If a parasite tries to latch onto a host that another kind of parasite already has, there is usually a conflict between those parasitic organisms. So it's very funny.
So the migrants are the new parasites?
The migrants are the incoming parasite that are in conflict with this current one that is leeching off our system. Because there have been all sorts of riots and protests in Chicago, in California, and various other cities where inner city minority communities of people who already live here and have lived here for a very long time are rioting and protesting against immigration because it's overburdening the benefits system and the welfare systems that they're already benefiting from.
Weird.
I was just reading a thing earlier, Vinny. I was telling you about it. Ex-gang members in Chicago told the New York Post that if the Venezuelan gangs that are taking over apartment buildings come into Chicago, eventually there's going to be running gun battles between them and the Chicago gangs as they try to kill each other. And they said the National Guard and the police won't be able to do anything about it. And it was described as, quote, blacks versus immigrants. And that's what's going to happen to Chicago.
That's 100%, because, dude, it's how crazy is it that gang members are like, hey, listen, This is our freaking. We're not gonna let you guys come in here and take our shit. We're milking the system. Don't you dare.
If anybody's shooting a 4-year-old through a window in this city, it's gonna be me.
Not you.
I was born here.
Yeah,
it's my right to kill him.
Venezuelan jerk. Oh man,
insane.
That's messed up, Brandon.
The fact that they don't even talk about the Chicago shootings is beyond me. I lived in Illinois for 5 years, and I remember they were talking about COVID and all these different things. And every weekend, I would look at how many people were shot in Chicago. Exactly what you're saying: 12 to 50 people shot a weekend. Many of them 5, 6, 13, just mowed down through their houses. Crickets.
Nobody talks
from
about
the media.
It shows you where the sensibilities of the billionaires are too, because who's the governor? J.B. Pritzker is worth $40 billion.
And also some of the highest legislation when it comes to gun rights.
Oh, what do you mean? You can't. What do you mean?
Because they become socialists when they become billionaires. Because we discovered this the other day. Like, why is Rockefeller and Rothschild and all the rich people become socialists after the capitalism helping them get rich? Because they want to eliminate competition.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, Brandon. That video really pisses me off because that's them laughing and spitting in your face for all of us. Because guess who's paying for all of that? Everybody in this room, everybody that's home that's listening and watching this. If you're in the United States, you're paying for that freaking
we gotta cut that shit
flash
off.
mob at freaking at Target and Walmart.